Welcome pilots! Today we're going to dive into EVE Vanguard, the latest evolution in the EVE universe. If you're curious about how Vanguard connects to the broader EVE Online world and how it's set to shape the future of New Eden, stick around. This is a new chapter and you won't want to miss it. EVE Vanguard is a first-person shooter set in the EVE Online universe, but it's much more than a standalone game. It brings players into the heart of New Eden as elite soldiers and mercenaries fighting on the ground while the spacefaring battles rage above. At its core, Vanguard builds on the rich history of EVE and its spin-offs like Dust 514 and EVE Valkyrie. But instead of just referencing the past, Vanguard ties together the war clone technology from Dust, virtual warfare Valkyrie, and even deep secrets from ancient Jovian lore. It's an evolution shared story, a bridge between the space battles of EVE Online and the boots on the ground combat of Vanguard. But EVE Vanguard isn't just a separate experience, it's fully linked to EVE Online. Using a powerful back-end technology called Quasar, the actions you take in Vanguard can directly impact EVE Online. For example, insurgency events in Vanguard send real-time data to EVE Online, influencing the control of the solar systems and affecting larger conflicts. If you are interested in how Quasar works and how it connects to the EVE universe, look at the timestamps below the video and we'll cover that in more detail towards the end of the video. This connection means the two games are intertwined like never before. Players will be able to participate in different aspects of the EVE universe, whether they're flying ships in space or fighting critical battles on the ground. Imagine a massive fleet engagement in EVE Online, with ground forces in Vanguard fighting to control key objectives that can swing the tide of the battle. Looking forward, Vanguard will not only shape EVE Online, but also open up endless possibilities for new gameplay. With plans for bi-directional communication, both games will be able to react to events happening in real time. Think about how ground-based victories in Vanguard could unlock opportunities in space and vice versa. This could redefine warfare in New Eden, as players across two games coordinate in a dynamic, ever-evolving world. EVE Vanguard is more than just a new game. It's a new way to experience the EVE universe, whether you're a long-time capsuleer or new to the world of New Eden. Vanguard promises to change how we think about inter-game experiences, linking ground and space combat like never before. In any shared universe, there is always a fear that adding new stories might constrain the broader narrative. Will future stories be trapped by the weight of what came before? Or worse, will they disregard history and break the consistency of the world? But EVE has managed to avoid this trap. Rather than treating its past as a limitation, the lore of New Eden is seen as a launching point. Instead of boxing the future in, the 21 years of story and community build a palette to paint from. This approach allows EVE Vanguard to not only honour the past, but also pave the way for a limitless future. EVE Vanguard takes the deep roots of EVE, Dust and Valkyrie and unifies them into something new. It's a bridge between the past and the future of this expansive universe. The foundation of this new era? The idea of Elysian independence, a concept that finds its grounding in the history of New Eden and looks towards a future of innovation. The Vanguard storyline introduces us to Infomorphs, digital beings that embody the remnants of sleeper technology. These Infomorphs are directly connected to the mercenary group Cell Combine's Lifegiver, who lights the path towards a peaceful resolution for the first generation of war clones in the virtual world known as the Fulcrum. The Lifegiver plays a vital role in Vanguard, finally bringing the war clone technology of Dust 514 to a long-awaited conclusion. It bridges the gap between the original sleepers and the modern inhabitants of New Eden, forming a unified technology that resolves conflicts from the past. On the other hand, the Quartermaster takes core tech from EVE Valkyrie and paves new ways forward, focusing on pragmatism and progress. This path represents a significant step forward for Vanguard, bleeding history with new innovations that could shape the future of warfare in New Eden. We can't talk about the future of EVE without mentioning the Deathless Circle and the Fulcrum. The Deathless are dragging ancient Jovian lore and technology to the surface, pulling secrets from the past to influence the present. What's particularly fascinating about this technology is how it allows Vanguard clones to interface with the Fulcrum. A virtual space that feels eerily similar to how the Sleepers once interacted with their decaying enclave. The brain and implants of Vanguard clones are now capable of connecting to the Fulcrum from a distance, effectively mirroring the Sleepers' once advanced methods. With Life-Giver resolving long-standing questions from Dust 514, Quartermaster driving forward with the innovations from Eve Valkyrie, and the Deathless Circle unearthing Jovian technology, Eve Vanguard brings New Eden to an exciting new frontier. What began over 2 decades ago is now being built upon in ways that could shape the future for years to come. Even though Eve Vanguard and Eve Online were developed independently, they share a lot of common DNA. One of the biggest tech concepts they both used is called Event-Driven Architecture, or EDA. This type of architecture is crucial because it allows the games to create flexible, scalable systems that can evolve as the universe expands. In an EDA, every change in the game, like a character undocking or finish a mission, gets recorded as an event. These events are published to a central message bus where other systems can subscribe and react to them. The original system doesn't care who's listening or what happens next, which allows for entirely new behaviours to be added without disrupting the existing setup. To connect Vanguard with EVE Online, the Vanguard backend was set up as a trusted publisher of events into Quasar, which is EVE Online's backend. One of the key events that Vanguard sends over is data about completed contracts. Once these events hit Quasar, the insurgency services there pick up on them. They add active insurgency information and aggregate all of that data into the insurgency totals for different solar systems across EVE Online. This type of real-time connection means that actions in Vanguard can affect the larger world of EVE Online directly, setting the stage for exciting inter-game dynamics. Now, making this connection doesn't work without its challenges. To become a trusted event source, the Vanguard backend has to connect to Quasar's internal gRPC gateway service. This required Vanguard to be on the same private network as Quasar and authenticate using CCP's private key infrastructure. Essentially, this meant that Vanguard had to prove it was a legitimate source by acquiring an MTLS client certificate. In preparation for the First Strike launch, the Vanguard team redeployed their environments into new subnets that were able to connect to the larger CCP network. After handling network and address conflicts, they successfully connected to the PKI services, signed their certificates and made the link to Quasar. Thanks to an existing Golang client SDK, integrating with the gRPC network became a relatively smooth process. Now that the technical side of the integration is proven, the team is looking at ways to mature this connection even further. The next step? Simply the client SDK, so it no longer needs a PKI client agent, and building support for bidirectional communication. This would be a huge step, allowing Vanguard to not only send events to EVE Online, but also react to events that happen within EVE Online in real time. This opens up all sorts of possibilities for inter-game gameplay, where actions in one universe could trigger immediate changes in the other. Imagine EVE Online fleets responding to insurgencies sparked in Vanguard, or Vanguard players seeing the consequences of massive battles fought in EVE Online. The potential is just limitless. So now that we've broken down how EVE Vanguard and EVE Online are connected through Quasar, let's hear it from you in the comments. How do you think that CCP could use the deeper connection to enhance gameplay? What kind of cross-universe events or mechanics would you like to see? Are you ready to join the Vanguard and help shape the future of New Eden? Let us know what you're most excited for in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the battlefield.